In the history of Rugby League, there have been many great single seasons of achievement by some of the game's greats. Darren Lockyer's 2006 campaign, Laurie Daly in 1994.
Stewart across the Daly, Laurie Daly, oh! There's a gap, over the 30, support is coming, Daly, he won't read it, Daly, he scores! Daly puts it down! Daly, go Laurie, yes he's in! Laurie Daly scores!
And Arthur Beetson's 1975 Premiership and World Cup dominance. However, there has never been a single season had by any footballer that has even come close to the year of achievement that Wally Lewis enjoyed in the calendar year of 1984.
It's still lay right away, this is Wally Lewis, he's in! Support two and Pearce gets back to Lewis, and Lewis is over for Australia!
Be very happy with Muller. Muller got in his way, but he's over! Away then to Dawes, Dawes back inside to Lewis, Lewis crashing through, and here's another one. Lewis.
This was Rugby League perfection in its highest form. Wally Lewis in 1984. This is the story of the season to end all seasons. Wally Lewis exploded onto the Brisbane Rugby League scene in 1978 as the Valley's Wonder Boy, with a skill set that had never been seen before. His unique chip and chase, long spiral passes and ability to read the play several tackles ahead of time was evident from the earliest stages of his career. Lewis led the diehards to the 1979 BRL Premiership, then gradually earned representative honours.
For each other or for any other man on the field, and by golly, both of them have played that way, David.
Yes, it's been a very strong match.
To go, Wally Lewis to McQuarter. What about that Wally Lewis as a footballer?
In the inaugural 1980 Queensland State of Origin team, and then culminating in his Test debut for Australia in 1981.
Lewis through the gap, he could score. He's going to score, yes.
The seeds were sown for the season to end all seasons as far back as November 1982, when Lewis was selected as vice-captain for Australia's Kangaroo Tour of Great Britain. This great honour for the young Queenslander soon turned to disappointment, as coach Frank Stanton opted for the Parramatta club combination of Peter Sterling and Brett Kenny in Lewis's preferred 5/8 position.
The 1982 tour for me was a very proud moment for me. I was named as vice-captain of the touring side. When we got over there though, it was also the source of a little bit of disappointment. I wasn't included in the first test lineup. I was hauled aside by the coach Frank Stanton, who was very disappointed, he said, in my form so far. He said that I'd obviously spoken to somebody who'd been on a previous tour that had told me don't let a good tour interfere with a good time. I think we'd been away for around about 20 days and I'd put on 1 stone and 3 pound in that stage, or around about 6 or 7 kilos in the new terms. So I'd been doing training pretty tough, put it that way. I had to turn around and work very hard at trying to get back in the side. It was some good performances, and I say that without reservation actually, because I tried very, very hard to get that spot back. I was quite pleased with the way I'd managed to play in some of the games over there.
Backing up off them all the time. Oh, good long ball, and he's in. Mal Meninga. Well, 14 minutes gone in this second half. That long ball from Wally Lewis out to Mal Meninga. Still playing Wayne Lewis. Can he go the length of the field? But this man surely can. Brett Kenny, the man of the match. Just look at that for pace. Oh, magnificent.
And the conditions weren't really helping. a lot of the Australians who were struggling to get in the test lineup. I managed to get back in there, but it certainly took a lot of trying. Now, a lot of Queensland people said Stanton's the coach, and Sterling and Ray Price are in the side. That's the end for Lewis. He's finished. You won't see him in the test lineup. So they thought interstate jealousy was the reason that I wasn't in the first test lineup. But I can tell you in all honesty, the only reason why I didn't get in that first test lineup was because of the superior form shown by Brett Kenny.
Kenny's going to go in. It's rather pathetic.
Out of the disappointment from the 82 Kangaroo Tour ignited a fierce determination from Lewis, and like a phoenix rising from the ashes, 1983 would prove to be a year of redemption for Wally Lewis. Such was Lewis's impact in 83 that in the space of 12 months he had gone from a player replaced in the Test starting side to universally regarded as the #1 Rugby League player in the world. He would begin the Winfield State League season on fire and led Valleys to a grand final win in the State League with a man-of-the-match performance. He carried this form into the 83 Origin Series, where New South Wales severely underestimated the new 83 version of Wally Lewis. So much so that Test and New South Wales lock Ray Price only provided extra motivation for Wally and the Maroons, with some less than flattering comments about Lewis leading up to Game 1.
Wally Lewis, regarded by many as Australia's most talented footballer. He lost his Test spot on the Kangaroo Tour last year. Determined, oh boy is he determined to get it back tonight.
These comments would haunt New South Wales until Lewis's Origin retirement at the end of the 1991 series.
I'm not jealous of the man. I think he is a great sportsman, but this pedestal that the media have got him on, he really believes that he is king. He is a great player, but there again, he is a show pony too.
Jesus, there's the pot calling the kettle black.
My criticism towards him has always been about the same thing, the pedestal. You know, he's got to remember that the game is the game, and it's not Wally Lewis, then the game.
It came out in the afternoon paper that he said I was like the weather, soft and cold. And I scored 2 tries that night, and both of them were through Ray Price tackles. And I got up after the second one, I said, Jesus, that was a soft try, Pricey, and it's getting real cold.
Murray. Canescu inside for Fortin. Fortin beat one tackle. He's got Lewis with him, and Lewis scores! Heard the call for Wally Lewis, and the Queensland skipper over for the first try of the match.
5th tackle Queensland. Watch for the bomb. Now they're going to go from there and they're in. Oh, it's so easy. Wally Lewis has gone underneath for another try. Queensland in from dummy half through Wally Lewis. And look at the crowd. Watch this, Wally Lewis, the master, straight through some dreadful defence. That was Ray Price, he got through, and Wally Lewis in for number 2.
Following Lewis in Queensland's dominant performance in the deciding Game 3 Origin win, he would regain his Test 5/8 spot.
Miles, 5'8" mid to Queensland, that's Wally Lewis. The halfback is Steve Mortimer.
Wally would then lead his Queenslanders on a UK tour at the end of the 83 season. This tour gave footy fans a glimpse of a Wally Lewis just about to enter his playing and physical prime, as he dominated the play against English super clubs Wigan and Leeds.
Taking a few bumps after a few weeks rest, but I'm sure once they get into that first training session over there, they're going to realise it's fair dinkum, and once they hit that first game, we're going to expect a hell of a lot over there, and I'm sure that the guys are going to feel the full brunt of the English feelings about getting belted in the Test series last year.
It was hoisted and the Queensland rampage started again. Joe Kilroy dashed across after producing a blinding sidestep. 3 more tries followed in quick succession, with Lewis and Lindenberg playing prominent roles. Lewis made several clean breaks and Lindy scored twice. Wally Lewis was wholly responsible for the next 4-pointer, scoring through a marvellous display of pace off the mark and sheer power. At half-time it was 22-2 and then the floodgates opened, with the Queenslanders scoring at the rate of just under a point a minute. They ran in 3 tries in the first 20 minutes of the second stanza, and Lewis had a hand in all of them. He scored one himself and set up the breaks for Miles and Fullerton Smith to cross. As Leeds become totally... That runaway victory made it 104 points for, only 12 points against on this three-match tour of England. But of course they lost the first match against Hull Kingston Rovers, which really put a dampener on a very, very successful tour by the Queensland.
It was targeted at the Queensland team during its three-week tour. Virtually every member of the Queensland team was approached, and over the next fortnight several will be considering their options. The more immediate concern for some, however, is their immediate playing future back here in Brisbane.
Brisbane turned on a bright, warm welcome for the tourists this morning, a relief from the cold they left behind in England. The first up loss to Hull still annoys the team, who went on to play stunning football in their final two matches against Wigan and Leeds, winning both by big margins. For skipper Wally Lewis, it's decision time. With his contract with Bally's expired, he'll be busy talking with several clubs about his playing future. And there are also big English offers from Leeds, Wakefield Trinity and St Helens to consider.
There is quite a deal of money in English Rugby League at the moment, and they're certainly very attractive offers, but you know, we've got to wait and see if we can get clearances from the Australian Rugby League, and also we've got to work out whether we wouldn't mind a break, because you know, a few of the guys had extended seasons last year with the Kangaroo Tour, so I wouldn't mind a break actually.
This tour would set the stage for Wally's first stamp of greatness in what would prove to be the season to end all seasons.
We've heard that some of you have had offers to go back to England. Is this right, Wally?
That's right. You know, they've made offers, but all offers had to go through the management, and then have to come back to the Queensland Rugby League before they can be considered. But you know, I think just about everybody in the tour got an offer.
Mecca for sports journalists, the press box at the Gabba for his announcement.
Discussions went through. Redcliffe dropped off yesterday. Valley's had until this afternoon to get back to me. They did get back to me, and through the conversation I've decided that I'm going to sign with Wynnum Manly for next year.
Lewis ends his successful 6-year stint with Fortitude Valley with regret, but full of praise for his coach and mentor Ross Strodwick and club president Dr. Tom Dooley. Blockbusting Wynnum centre Gene Miles was apparently a reason for moving, the two having built a close friendship and playing combination during their representative matches together. Miles staying with Wynnum was a condition of the contract, which is to be yearly. The Seagulls' financial plight did not deter Lewis.
Well, Wynnum obviously in financial problems. The contract itself might surprise a lot of people. Everybody would probably think that to lure me away from Valleys would have to be some outstanding money, but in actual fact it's not very much more at all than I'm getting in Valleys, just about the same money. But you know, I'm sort of looking at my financial future, which didn't really make any difference which of the three clubs I went to.
Lewis said he received no definite offers from Sydney, although he still plans to play 8 weeks of the off-season in England with Wakefield Trinity.
There was a time during the mid to late 1980s when the greatest players in Australia and New Zealand went to play in the English Rugby League competition during the Aussie off-season, and thus this is how Wally Lewis began his season to end all seasons. Following Queensland's tour of the UK in late '83, Lewis was courted by several English clubs and eventually signed with the underdog and low-profile Wakefield Trinity, who were floundering towards the bottom of the competition ladder. Immediately upon his arrival, Lewis would transform Trinity into a competitive outfit that could rival any club in the country. During the 3-month stint in England, Lewis would wow the English crowds with his brilliant play, including a hat-trick of tries against top-side St Helens in a memorable victory. However, Lewis was a one-man band at Trinity, and in what might be the greatest compliment to the value of a player, once Lewis had to return to Australia for the start of Wynnum Manly's club campaign, Wakefield Trinity would fail to win a single game without Lewis for the rest of the season. In late March, Wally would gain the prestige of being named captain of an Oceania side, which was an all-star team selected from the best players in Australia, New Zealand and the Pacific. They would take on the Europe side, which was comprised of the greatest players from Great Britain and France. Lewis would play in a dominating role in scoring a try and leading Oceania to a resounding 54-4 victory in Paris, in a match that celebrated the 50th anniversary of French Rugby League. In late April, with the representative season just around the corner, Lewis would sound an ominous warning with a 5-star performance dominating the defending premiers, the East Tigers.
Back inside to Lewis, this is trouble. Lewis going right through for the try, opening one of the match. Miles, Lewis out wide. Now looking both ways, not sure which way to go, and decided to go himself. Got up, got it away to Dawes.
Combined Brisbane was a team chosen strictly from the clubs in the Brisbane Rugby League. The 1984 Panasonic Cup competition would blow the lid off the myth that the Brisbane competition was far inferior to the Sydney comp, as Brisbane would roll through all comers on their way to winning the prize cup in '84. Their first test was the South Sydney Rabbitohs, and Lewis controlled the match in attack and defence.
2 points for them.
Lewis taking the short kicks tonight. Successful. Gone now for Brisbane. Meninga bursting onto it as Wally Lewis. That's a try. A try to Lewis. Prearranged stuff between. Cut out pass on Niscott. Murphy.
Oh, that was a strong hit. The Brisbane defence moved up very quickly there. Murphy thought that he was in a gap, but Lewis was sitting right in front, doing a lot of talking, organising this Brisbane defence. No doubt he's the player who's the linchpin. He's the key to everything for Brisbane in attack.
Miles getting the final ball to Kilroy. There's a Brisbane try. Yes! Brisbane. Back to Wally Lewis. Up goes the bomb. It's a high one. It's a very big test for Marty Gurr. He's put it down. It's come from Paulson out to Belcher. They must score. Belcher in to score for Brisbane. No mistakes. Straight between the uprights. Brisbane extending their lead. Lewis, he actually kicked that ball twice, Wally. And
before he can break the line, and he's strong enough to force his way over for tries himself.
Here he is again now. Meninga, just a metre short of the line. Lewis, cut out pass, beautiful ball. Miles over the halfway, has Klein with him. There's the winger. Klein down to the 22. Gurr's got him covered. Beautiful tackle by Gurr.
Well, Wally Lewis, red play there.
There's also a colour pin-up of the Illawarra Steelers and all the regular features in Big League. It's out today. Brisbane.
The 5'8" is Wally Lewis, and the halfback Peter Dawes. Lock forward is Brian Watts. In the second row it's Mal Green and Greg Dowling. And the front row is Tony Kajewski, David Green and Gary Coyne.
It's right up. Here it is.
Back over to Lewis. There's the drop shot at goal, and that seals it up because it's over. 17 points to 10. Field goal by Wally Lewis. And there's Des Morris, quite happy down there in the Wynnum Manly dugout.
With the Origin series about to get underway and Lewis in the form of his life, he would utterly dominate the series by winning consecutive Man of the Match awards in both games 1 and 2, a feat that has never been duplicated since.
Well, it's a drama-charged atmosphere here at Lang Park. With a capacity crowd and pressure on these newcomers to this standard of football. There's nothing like this in the world, believe you me. Referee is Kevin Roberts. Last-minute instructions to the opposing captains Wally Lewis from Queensland and Ray Price from New South Wales. And this is the man who will try and dictate the play for Queensland tonight. Wally Lewis, freely tipped to be announced as captain of Australia tonight. It's with Lewis, trying to catch Colin out of position, and he's done it. Well, he's a great tactician, Wally Lewis, but Ross Conlon caught out of position, Jack.
Well, he had a fine kick, he shaped and he found the boundary just as he wanted to.
Queensland running quite freely. Here's Murray. Now it's with Lewis. Now Miles again. Miles into the clear. steps inside Ella, but caught from behind though by Pearce. Queensland attacking with Lewis. A floater for Meninga to Bowstead. Steps inside Conlon. The pass is back inside for Meninga.
Hard player. The kick from Queensland. Stabs for the line. It's a good kick too. Oh, it's a beauty. That'll take play just about 10 metres out from the New South Wales line. Wally Lewis, the General of Queensland.
Thornton Smith. Lewis. Long pass for Niebling. Almost crawling along on his knees. Last tackle now for Queensland. Lewis. Up it goes. Anybody's ball. Jack jumps for it. It's loose. It's a try. Kerry Bowstead is there. Kerry Bowstead has scored for Queensland. And it's a mistake from Gary Jack. Pinpoint accuracy, the kick from Wally Lewis.
Out through Murray. Dowling hits it up for Meninga. Gets it out for Bowstead again. Dowling was inside but couldn't get the hands free. But still they raid away. This is Wally Lewis. He's in. Oh, Lewis is in again. He's done it. Skirted around the outside and then he's gone. And the crowd go mad. Well, Queensland kept the momentum going. Lewis had a look, saw it on the blind side, dived over and does it every match. He's a clever footballer.
He went blindside, Lewis, and well, he's an impact player.
Having plenty to say, Wally Lewis too, saying settle it down.
Back with Lewis. Trying to get it past Gary Jack, but Growth is back there to take it. Jack is in support. Growth can't beat that tackle. Combined tackle of Lewis.
I very much doubt if Lewis will continue from here.
Well, he certainly hit the ground hard, Jack, and been shaking his head trying to clear it.
Well, he's standing up and he doesn't look too bad now.
It's pretty tough, Wally Lewis.
Niebling. Up it goes from Lewis. Right at the post again. They go up for it. And New South Wales taken by Gary Jack. Oh, those kicks from Wally Lewis are deadly.
No, again, he's put it up there, and every time he puts it in the air, he's given the Queenslander a chance to make some points.
32 metres out, Queensland. Canescu, there's the half-time hooter. Lewis will take a drop shot for goal. It's high. And it's there. Lewis has done it again. Queensland going at half-time with a commanding lead. 15 points to 6. The magic of Wally Lewis snaps 1 point as the hooter went. Here it is, the snap goal. Oh, long way out, 32 metres out. Look at the height he got. And deadly accurate.
Now Murray and Lewis not waiting for the fifth tackle. Lewis, he'll find Conlon out of position again. That ball rolling towards the touchline. And Lewis, well, what can you say about him, Jack?
Well, a game, the boy's got time. He's got time to operate. It's the mark of a champion.
Roach. With that Queensland defence driving them back. Where's Lewis? Will he look for another field goal? He has it. No, it's a bomb. Ella out there for it. Up they go. Anybody's ball. Safe for New South Wales, though. Hey, gee, that Wally Lewis can put people under pressure, Jack.
Yeah, he's having a big night. There's nothing they seem to be able to do about it. Well, they haven't been out of their half. They're out to be 10 yards, but
There's a big hit from Wally Lewis on Pearce. He just crunched him. And they're going nowhere, New South Wales. Certainly playing with a lot of courage. He took a tremendous knock. Bang, that was the hit. And Pearce, when he hits, Jack.
Pearce got a fight. A hell of a shot on him then. He got him off balance and kept him going.
Well, this will be interesting to see just how important Wally Lewis is to this side. Arthur Beetson's one man that's very conscious of that. He's getting up, and listen to the crowd when he gets up. Queensland's hero.
Sterling calls for it. A kick through, he's impeded, I thought, but referee says no, we'll play on, and the Queensland side has it. That's back with Murray. Now Lewis, Meninga. On it goes to Bostad, he's got a clear passage. Has he got the pace? Oh, he steps inside Jack and scores! Well, what a comeback from Queensland! And Arthur Beetson breathes a sigh of relief. And Kerry Bostad has scored again for Queensland, 19-12. And is he a happy man? Here's how it happened. This was Murray. The pass on to Lewis, and Lewis's pass again to Meninga. Meninga's beautiful hands onto Bostad. He had a clear passage. Where was his opposite number? And Bowie saw the line, stepped inside Jack's tackle, not held, and over to score to put Queensland 19, New South Wales 12. Back at Lang Park shortly.
Tackle for New South Wales. Kenny, long pass from Sterling to Thompson. He puts it in the air. Plenty of chases for the Blues. They come through. Conlon gets it up, flicks it back for Cleal. Cleal, wrapped up though, Cleal. Oh, listen to the crowd. It's Wally Lewis that wraps him up, and that's the changeover. Sterling, Thompson. And look at this defence. They get Pat Jarvis. He gets it away to Pearce. Pearce straightens the attack up, unloads it to Ella, and knock it on. It's
12. Here's Sterling. Across to Pearce. Sterling again, but look at the ground they've lost. And who's thrown him to the ground? Wally Lewis. Now Kenny. Chant goes up around Lang Park again. Wally.
Lewis kicking for line and finds it again. Well, the fellow can just look around this ground. He can put the ball on a 5-cent piece. Sterling feeds New South Wales ball. Gary Jack, oh, driving tackle. Rake back again. Is there nothing the man can't do, Jack? He tackles, he rakes balls back, he kicks for the line. He's a complete footballer.
He's had a big night.
Directing traffic, even in the last 5 minutes with a big lead. Askew to Lewis, the run around, selecting Miles, and throws a loose one back. Handball again by Brown. Bought. Lewis is just handballing it back. If he can't take the pass, he handballs it. Again, he passes. Kicks for Bostad. Bostad takes it, and that's the icing on the cake. Bostad in again for Queensland.
After Wally's masterclass in Game 1 of the Origin series, he would be named Captain of Australia for the first time.
When I walked out as number 6, I got the loudest boo of the whole lot. I got an even louder boo than the English team, and I thought it was crazy. And then the crowd went into their normal chant of Wally's a wanker and Wally sucks from different ends of the ground, and I thought, well, you know, this is it. My first game as Australian captain, and I'm getting this. Wally's a wanker and Wally sucks from different ends of the field. And I thought, here was a day that was supposed to be the proudest day of my life, and I was absolutely filthy. And I thought, well, you know, I was absolutely furious, and I think I came out with a statement after that, and it was in one of the papers that somebody said, well, what do you think about Sydney? And I said, well, you know, whenever you fly into the place, I said, I always like to sit on the left-hand side of the plane. I said, it's a lovely place. You get to see the Harbour Bridge and all of that looks fantastic. I said, it's a shame it's full of so many arseholes.
Wally Lewis at 5'8", captains Australia for the very first time.
Rescue, Lewis, got support too in Pearce, gets back to Lewis, and Lewis is over for Australia! Oh, that's a great bit of football! Pearce and Lewis combined and are over for the green and goals. Australia 6, Great Britain 0. See it again, Lewis now inside the 22, throws the dummy. He's deceptively fast with that pace of his. Gets it back to Pearce, back to Lewis, and stumbles over beside the post.
Small wall put up and Lewis emerging from it. He's got support too with Pearce. Able to offload. It's 10 metres out from the Great Britain line. Here's Lewis again. The kick through for Bostad. It's loose. Bostad trying to get there. But Mick Burke, the Great Britain fullback, just beat him to it. But ever so close.
With his encounter with Burke. Great Britain player down in back play, but will stay with the action. Ball is up on the line. It's loose. Oh, and there's the post, and he just couldn't get it over the line. That was Murray. Brett Kenny unloads it back. Here's Pearce. Out wide. There's Price. Chance for Australia. Price is in. He's gone over the arm. Man of the game, Ray Price. Frank Stant pretty happy. And the Australian crowd applaud.
A little bit of extra distance. Back for Adams. Now out for Drummond. Drummond out of one. Straightening. He's got support too. Away it goes. And the Great Britain is in to score. Gary Schofield, the 18-year-old centre, is in to score. Schofield making his test debut. Used as an extra forward. The ball is in Lewis's hands. It's back with Conlon.
Ganescu back for Lewis. He'll kick. Drummond running back for it, but it'll find touch. Good kick from Wally Lewis. Had a look then and saw Drummond out of position and just stabbed for the line. Certainly tackled everything this afternoon. Last tackle for Australia. Lewis goes for a field goal, and it's there. Cool as you like. There it is. Wally Lewis. Scoreline now, Australia 19, Great Britain 8.
We have our man of the match, and with him down in the dressing rooms, Daryl Eastlake.
Thank you, Mike. There's a bit of gloom in the Australian dressing room at the moment because Greg Canescu, of course, being hurt in a fairly spiteful incident at the end of that match. Wally, you look concerned when you come in. How is he?
Well, he's not too good at the moment. He's in the hands of the doctor. He's quite sick. He's lost quite a few teeth, I think, at the top. So, you know, it was a very bad and hurtful way to finish a test match anyway.
Well, a proud moment for you. Your first test as captain. Was it as tough as you thought it would be?
A lot tougher than everybody expected, I think. You know, everybody's been expecting us to beat their side by quite a big score, especially after the 82 tour, but it's been a hell of a lot harder than anybody predicted.
Can they improve?
Oh, yes, of course they can. You know, I think they could move a couple of players into different positions, such as Ellery Hanley. They saw, you know, just how strong he is out in the wing. I really think he'll end up at centre or 5'8" in the next test match. They'll be a lot better.
Super performance from you. $1,000 from the Winfield Company. Congratulations, man of the match. And let's see, or hope, we see you back as captain of Australia for a while yet.
Thanks, mate. Thanks a lot.
Okay, Mike.
After winning man of the match in the first test on Saturday, June 9th in Sydney, Lewis then flew to Brisbane for a top-of-the-table clash just 24 hours later, as he led Wynnum to an inspiring victory over the Malmaninga-led South Magpies, who had no test reps backing up. With very little sports science and recovery available to the Rugby League player of 1984, What Wally Lewis did on back-to-back days on June 9 and June 10 in '84 is even more remarkable, given players complain about playing 2 matches in a week, let alone 2 matches in 2 days these days.
Making his debut at last in the New South Wales team, Andrew Farah. Number 6, the fella on whom all eyes rest, Terry Lamb, with the man-sized job of containing Queensland's wizard Wally Lewis.
You'll figure his first match at the Sydney Cricket Ground. We're underway in the State of Origin match number 2. And this is Colin Scott. Heading to the quarter line before he's put down by Farah. Dean Miles is looking to kick, but the New South Wales defence swarming in, and it's already on. Punches being thrown from everybody. That's Chris Close in there. Brett Kenny's involved as well. On the ground is Brent Gillespie. Ray Price, all trading blows. Well, Jack Gibson, what an explosive start to this match.
They advertised it early in the week, this situation would happen.
Well, the referee's allowed it to go on. Chris Close has lost his jumper. Fireworks falling from the sky. What a start to this State of Origin match. Barry Gomersall has often been quoted as saying that he's here to referee the game, not a fight. But who's going to stop the fight? Well, they finally restored some law and order. Well, what an explosive start in more ways than one.
Using the back line too. Gary Jack is up. He's got a juggler down. He's hammered down through Lewis.
Back for Lewis. Spuns over Conlon's head, and that's a good kick from Lewis.
There's a big crowd on here to cheer on the Blues. Roach loses the ball though. Picked up well by Lewis. It's taken by Farah. Unloads though. Gets it to Dowling. Dowling now. The big man finds the gap. On to Gene Miles. He claps on the pace. And a good run from Miles. Is he
that bad?
Ball up from Lewis. Good kick too. He puts it right up on the upright all the time. It's gone loose. Gary Jack falls on it though. Lewis's kicks are so accurate. Now watch where he places the ball. Right up on that upright. It'll come down on the crossbar, and that causes all sorts of problems for Jack. Canescu, Lewis turns it back inside this time to Niebling. Niebling unloads. Chance for Queensland as Canescu takes it up. They're only 5 metres out. Last tackle for Queensland. Lewis, a little chip. Oh, it bounces off the upright, and they're in. Dowling has gone in, and that's off a Lewis kick, and that's got to be luck. It came off the post, went back into the field of play. Dowling scooped it up and went in for Queensland. Well, Wally Lewis, magic, call it what you like, but every time he gets the ball and he thinks this man, they come up with points. Off the crossbar, back into the field of play.
Just on the New South Wales quarter. Back for Lewis. Aminga caught by Growth. But they're only about 8 metres out from the New South Wales line. It's the last tackle, the Lewis bomb. Where's Gary Jack? Can't see him anywhere. He didn't need to be there. The ball is loose. Towed through by Bowstead. Now Jack has it. Scrambling play. And referee Gomersall has ordered a goal line dropout for New South Wales.
It's all over. Queensland have defeated New South Wales to the tune of 14 points to 2 at the Sydney Cricket Ground tonight. Score 14 points to 2. The penalties went to Queensland 6-5 and the scrums 10-9, so pretty even possession. And it's been a hard-fought match. Wally Lewis there with a nice moment with Eric Growth. Plenty of spirit, plenty of toughness, and some great football being played here tonight too.
Following Lewis's man-of-the-match performance in the first test, the Lions specifically set about trying to erase Lewis from the game with several cheap illegal shots. However, the true champion that Wally was, it would simply spur him on. At one point during the second half, Lewis displayed his legendary natural strength, carrying a multitude of British defenders with him on the way to what should have been awarded as one of the greatest individual tries ever. Unfortunately, referee Shrimpton incorrectly ruled a no try.
Back for Lewis. Up in the air high, and Lewis is taken down and hurt in that tackle too after the kick. Australia fumble it, and Great Britain have the football. Lewis still down. Lewis hit pretty hard after he got rid of the ball. Touch judges in. Lewis holding the side of the head. Jack Gibson.
Well, I think he's going to report when Lewis kicked the ball high. He come through a little late on him and stopped him.
Australia bunched at the moment. Lewis unloads the Konescu. Wrapped up by Chris Burton. Referee again has come in. The Lang Park crowd have their say. Lewis down again. Here it is. Here's the incident. Bang, there's the hit from Mick Adams. Again, an elbow used. Lewis down for the second time in this match, and he takes a lot of punishment in the game, Jack, doesn't he?
Well, it was a pretty late hit, and the referee I think he's given a pretty kind decision. No, he's given him 10 minutes.
Well, 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Now with Murray, Liebling
straight through to the corner line, looks for support. Lewis is there with him. Lewis trying to stand in the tackle, no support there for him. And Lewis getting plenty for his corner too, but he's almost to the line. Lewis, in fact, he's grounded the ball, and referee tripped and tears, no try. Well, that was an amazing incident. Lewis was just had three defenders with him. I was waiting for him to be called held, but he refused to go down with the ball. Watch it with us there, and all the defenders around his face. Drummond's given him one, and Lewis still able to make some progress, and very nearly scored this try. In fact, tried to put it down, and I thought he got it down.
He got it down on my replay.
But Australia has won it. Australia has wrapped up the series by 18 points to 6.
The silverware would keep coming for Wally as he led Wynnum to a victory in the Woolies Trophy final against Meninga's Southern Suburbs. Now, with the Origin and Test matches done and won, Wally simply went on to defeat Sydney football's best by leading combined Brisbane to the National Panasonic Cup. They would first take on eventual premiers Canterbury Bankstown in a midweek classic at Lang Park.
Richard Paulson, no gain in ground as it goes from Foster and it ends up with Niebling. Niebling to play it now. Tackler was Peter Tunks in the 11 jumper. Wally Lewis passing and finding Mel Meninga. He's away from Andrew Farah. Oh, brilliant run by Meninga. A great run by Meninga and a super tackle by young Potter. Potter making a brilliant tackle, but Meninga absolutely brushed Canterbury away. He was able to beat Andrew Farah, and he beat him easily. And then it was left to young Michael Potter to loosen the feet is concerned. In fact, it appeared to come off the legs of the Queensland player. No difference, he'd already ordered that the scrum was to be set, and it's won by Canterbury, and a penalty against Wally Lewis for stealing the ball. 18 metres in, 18 metres out, and he's got it. Yes, he's got it. 2-0 in favour of Canterbury. Was sadly lacking in cohesion. Here's Kelly. The pass appeared forward to Johnston, but Billy Johnston must be over. He's given the try. He's given the try to Billy Johnston. A good cover tackle by the wing three-quarter Kilroy. But Canterbury go ahead. That was a heavy tackle by Wally Lewis. And Wally Lewis is very concerned about Billy Johnston. Lewis made the tackle on Johnston, and he knew straight away that something was wrong because Wally didn't move. He just said to the referee, get the trainer out. And Billy Johnston is not well.
He's had a big 3 or 4 minutes, Wally Lewis. You'd like to have 6 at him.
I'm just going to say he's playing power football at the moment, Lewis. Meninga's the dummy half. He thinks about the blind, changes his mind, gives it to Foster, then to Lewis. And this is Bella. Bella with a very strong run. He's 3 metres out. He's nullified the tackle count too. 6 more tackles for Brisbane. Foster to Lewis. Lewis floats a pass out. It's come down to Scott. And Scott has scored for the Brisbane side. A beautiful
beautiful pass by Wally Lewis. Straight into the waiting arms of Colin Scott. And what pressure there is on this kick now. From the dummy half, it came through Foster to Lewis, and then he cut out Gene Miles with a long, long pass, and Colin Scott was running free. Lewis and Brisbane have come up with it again. 20 metres out from the Canterbury line. Lewis switching the point of the attack, finding Foster. Here, yes, a rebound. Brisbane have hit the lead now. Brisbane in front by a point. Oh yes, look at this crowd now. They've gone mad here at Lang Park as the general, Wally Lewis, calls the shots. Foster, that was a magic ball by the former Penrith player, Henry Foster, and Rebo scores. Now all the pressure is back on Canterbury.
Lewis read it again, switched the play back to the blind side. Foster made the break. Canterbury was short in defence. Brisbane had the overlap and Rebo did the rest.
John Rebo, the try scorer. 15 metres in from touch, 20 metres out. He's got it! Rebo has had his try converted by Meninga. Big Mel is again on top of the pedestal. Brisbane leading Canterbury by 14 to 11. The Bulldogs and Batista's tackle. He's 6 metres out from the line. This is the third tackle. It's gone out to Chris Mortimer. He's tackled. 11 out. Centre field. Oh, he took it right to the chin from Miles. It's gone to Lamb. It's out with Greg Mullane. Mullane, he's over. I think it's a try. Now he's put him in the touch. The touch judges ruled him out. Steve Mortimer really voicing off in there. The final seconds are being counted down by a very, very excited Brisbane crowd as Wally Lewis fires the final pass. The siren sounds, and this third quarter final has been taken out by the home team, Brisbane.
Next were the three-time defending Sydney Premiers Parramatta, but they were no match for the Brisbane Juggernaut, and so it was on to the Cup final against the East Roosters, where a Rugby League classic would take place.
Cup football. And so we have Eastern Suburbs, the underdogs no doubt tonight, taking on probably the best Rugby League team anywhere in the world, if one can go on the records before us at the moment. They've accounted for New South Wales and the state of origin, and they've also put behind them teams like South Canterbury and Parramatta. Brisbane, as I said, they had a very hard road coming down to this Cup final, their second ever. They took on South at Lang Park. They beat them 25-18. And who'll ever forget that very controversial clash? Then they took on the premiership frontrunners, the Canterbury Bulldogs, and they beat them, again in controversial circumstances, but they earned their victory by 14 to 11. But in my mind, their best win was over Parramatta on Sydney soil at Leichhardt by 14 points to 12 over Parramatta. As far as I'm concerned, whichever way you want to look at it, this Brisbane side is certainly a champion one. 120,000 to the winner, 83,000 to the runner-up. Let's have a look now at the combined Brisbane side. Number 1 and fullback, Colin Scott. On one wing in number 2, Joe Kilroy. And then 3, the centre, is Mal Meninga. Number 4, his centre partner, Gene Miles. On the other wing, in 5 jumper, John Rebo. At 6 and 5/8, their captain, the great Wally Lewis.
Before the ball's even been played, and of course they'll incur a penalty if they continue to do that.
Lewis is into a hole. He's found Miles. Backing up is Linda. Linda's looking for the line. Gets a pass. That could still be a try, I think. Meninga has dropped it over the line. And I'm sure
absolutely positive that Chris Ward was going to give a try if Meninga had have taken the ball cleanly.
It's gone across to Foster, then Lewis, and now Meninga. Meninga stands, gets it to Miles.
Miles is into a very big space. There's a chance on for Brisbane, but Gale is around the legs again.
Moving into that first off the ruck roll where he'll take the first pass, and Foster's moving out the second pass off the ruck.
Well, Wally Lewis is tackled about 7 metres out from his line. He wouldn't be very happy with Muller. Muller got in his road, but he's over! That's a try! Scored by Wally Lewis. From dummy half. He made it look all so simple. Let's have a look and see it. Lewis, I'm sure the actual play that they had organised fell apart because Muller got in the road, and then Lewis gets up, he plays the ball, and you can play the ball in any direction, and he did that and he scored. Spun back to Foster, away from a forward, away from another forward, lofted ball by Lewis, picking up Linda, given to Kilroy, and he's in a touch. In touch. In fact, he's taken the corner flag. So it's out to the 22 for the place kick restart.
Wally Lewis was very disappointed in Kilroy's effort there. He was shaking his head in the background, and I think he felt that Kilroy could have dived a little earlier and gone a bit more gallantly for the line than he did.
Very big push by Brisbane, and they've won their second scrum against the feed. And this is Tony Curry, who's pulled down about 28 metres out from the eastern suburbs line. Brisbane with Meninga to Lewis, and then it's gone on to Miles, and the big international centre is in to score. Eastern suburbs could no longer deny them, with Gene Miles under the uprights, bringing a smile to the face of Bobby McCarthy. Kevin Miller, Michael Eden, Kevin Hastings, he has dropped it. It's gone forward. The pass has gone forward.
Well, just as well for Kevin Hastings, the pass did go forward because he dropped it over the line, and that saved any problems on Kevin's behalf.
Goodness. I was telling you about young Scott Campbell. Laurie Fryer's head is sunken as the hopes of the East fans across Australia have gone down with him. I was telling you about young Scotty Campbell. They've won a scrum against the feed. How much can Brisbane take? Now they've got 6 more tackles against them. Hastings to play it. Dummy half Sorensen. Out through Hardy.
The bell's gone.
Miller. The siren has gone. Miller goes for the line. Garland's got it to Sorensen. There's the siren. It's over. Brisbane have won it. Brisbane have won the cup final. My goodness, and don't they deserve it? They must have withstood something like 24 tackles in the last exchanges of this unbelievably exciting cup final. And so here he is, Captain Wally Lewis. What a great year for him. Australian captaincy and now National Panasonic Cup victory. He holds the cup aloft. Smith, and there's Senator Ron McAuliffe. What a proud man he must be. What a proud man he would be. I often ask myself the question, who is most responsible for this tremendous dominance currently held north of the border? That man with the cup or the man immediately to his right, Ron McAuliffe?
Now, with the semi-finals of the Brisbane Rugby League upon us, Wally would produce 2 remarkable displays in both the major semi-final and the grand final. In the major semi, with Wynnum down 16-10 to South, Lewis would score 3 tries in the space of 30 minutes to send Wayne Bennett and Mal Meninga back to the preliminary final.
Pushed away Beavers, gets it away to Terry Butler. Butler over the quarter line. They're coming at him quickly. He's in the corner. Yes, Terry Butler is in. Over in the corner, Meninga.
Kajewski. Now they go to Lewis. Lewis is over the line. Can he get the ball down? Yes, he can. He's got it down. Was taken by Ash Bombi, but is able to ground the ball.
Away from Green's tackle back inside to Meninga. Taken ball and all by Lewis.
That was a good tackle by Wally.
The 1984 Brisbane Rugby League Grand Final was one of the most hotly anticipated finals in BRL history. With Queensland football at its most dominant, the 2 teams had lineups that were comparable to the 2 teams contesting the Sydney Grand Final of '84, Canterbury and Parramatta. The Souths Magpies boasted current or soon-to-be state and internationals Gary Belcher, Peter Jackson, Bob Lindner, Bob Kellaway, immortal Mal Meninga and a young Wayne Bennett as coach. Lewis's Wynnum Seagulls counted with rep players Gene Miles, Brittany and French, Greg Dowling, Colin Scott and Terry Butler. Though state fullback Colin Scott was out of the grand final through suspension, Wynnum, led by Lewis, would simply play the game of their lives.
For 33 years, but if you have a look at Southern Suburbs, Mick, they've picked up, I think, something like 9 premiership wins. They're a lot older team, of course, a lot older club, but they've done pretty well just the same.
Yes, and they've been in the 4 of the last 5 grand finals.
The only Wynnum problem that they've had, of course, has been the bruised ribs of international centre Gene Miles. The state block forward Bob Lindner, Mick, one of the most exciting prospects in this state at the moment. He's resuming after a back injury, and no doubt he'll be a welcome addition to the ranks of Southern Suburbs today. Okay, here's South coming from the northern end of the ground. The kick-off by Meninga, deep down into Wynnum Manly territory. It'll be taken back there by Brian Walsh, dropped it back behind him. Walsh up into the field of play. Walsh normally, well, he's played lock forward, he's played 5'8", he's played everything but front row. It is Eddie Muller. Green works the blind side to Lewis. Lewis got away beautifully over there. Cutting through is Warren Green. Green up over the halfway. Pulled down to the tackle by Peter Jackson.
And we'll do that all afternoon.
Peter Dawes to Lewis on the blind side. Lewis holds it up. Now he accelerates. Here he goes. Back inside to Ian French. He's got some toe, this fellow. He's over the quarter line. He's going for the line. Jackson out after him. Gets it to Green. And there's the first try of the match. Warren Green in for the try after 10 minutes of play. Wynnum Manly score the first points of 4-0.
Oh, beautiful work from Wally Lewis. The magic of the man. Watch him. Here he goes. He moves with the ball and they just stand and watch him. He ran past Kellaway like Kellaway was a silent cop.
David Green, dummy half. Lewis. Miles. Miles over to French. This is trouble. Over the halfway. Terry Butler outside. Beavers has a go. Now to Butler. Butler's on his own. He cuts back inside. He's looking for support. French is back onto his feet and French is going to score in the corner. Still haven't got David Green down as yet. Now Dawes to Lewis. Lewis, the long one. Brian Walsh into the back line. Then away to Terry Butler. Butler back inside. This is Lewis. Lewis got away then to Miles, and Miles is in. Gene Miles in for another one. And the procession continues. And they're racking up a cricket score. It's 28-2.
Else not doing too much. There's Wayne Bennett. I wonder what thoughts are running through his mind. Self-destruction or some sort of Harry Cowrie, Bill?
Ball roll loose. And it was Green able to stand up and get it away then to Dawes. Dawes back inside to Lewis. Lewis crashing through, and here's another one. Lewis over underneath the posts. And Wynnum Manly hit the 40 points. But it's all over now, and that's it. Wynnum Manly convincing winners of the 1984 Grand Final. They've taken it out by 42 points to 8.
He's ended up winning or being in the grand final team. It's well and truly won. Boy, oh boy, what a score.
Wayne Bennett walking about there. Mal Meninga in the background. The South players absolutely stunned. The one thing they'd love to do would be away from there, but give them their due, Mick. They've stayed there. That's the grand final for 1984. Disappointing from a crowd spectacle, although if you're a Wynnum supporter, it was beautiful. So the full-time score, we see Wynnum Manly defeating South by 42 points to 8.
He's a bit battered and bruised, but up north they think Wally is Superman. Just listen to these Brisbane kids. Up here, Wally is a genuine working-class hero.
Sport's been a very big part of my life, and it's certainly been a successful thing for me in the way that I wasn't as successful as I would have liked to have been at school study-wise.
After having the season to end all seasons, Wally's final coronation would take place at the season's end, when he would be given the inaugural Golden Boot Award as the best footballer in the world.